soon enough. How much could we achieve?
Bungie has unveiled what's in store for Destiny 2's Year 2. It does look quite good. It looks substantial, but the price is going to cost you. It looks pretty substantial as well. I'm Mike Williams. This is Jake Kulkowski.
What up? What up?
There's a lot of stuff in this Year 2 plan and the big expansion that's coming up as well, but it is a lot of money, isn't it?
Yeah, it seems to be a bit like the Destiny Taken King sort of shtick.
Yeah,
it's the
very
annual
similar
thing. It's the Year 2 thing. It's the it's the DLC with a season pass thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Long story short, Destiny 2 Forsaken. That's the name of it. Forsaken, right?
Yep.
We know quite a lot about it, and I guess the purpose of this video is to dissect it. I guess some people
I mean,
might
there's
be
a lot.
interested in finding out what.
There's a lot to dissect as well. Just like we did a Red Dead Redemption video, recorded it just yesterday actually, and it feels very similar. Just going through all of the bloody options you've got for pre-ordering and whatever. So here we go. Bungie did do a 9-minute reveal video for Destiny 2 Forsaken this week, and that's the big new expansion. This game's equivalent, as Jake just said, to the Taken King expansion from the first game. So it is really it's different in scale to what the DLC we've had so far. It marks the start of the second year of content for the game, essentially. Destiny 2 Forsaken arrives on September the 4th for PC, PS4 and Xbox One. What's in it? Well, it includes a new story, new game modes, new high-level weapons and gear, new exotics, new weapon types, a new raid, and 2 new destinations, actual locations you can go to. The content does take you back to the Reef, which should be familiar to anyone who played the original Destiny, where you chase down escapees from the Prison of Elders. Bungie said the story has a bit of a darker tone this time, a bit more of like a Western revenge vibe. They said those are their words.
Starts with a prison break, I think.
Exactly. So you've gone down to like chase them down in the Reef, which is one of the 2 big locations. So the 2 locations are in fact the Tangled Shore, and that's the place that's in the Reef, and then somewhere else called the Dreaming City, which is actually the home to the Awoken race, which you can choose as your Guardians kind of race, which is pretty cool. I feel like they haven't really been represented that much in terms of like story content and that. They're just kind of milling around, and in terms of reading the lore and stuff, I feel like in the actual game, it's cool to see some stuff from them, at least to know who they are and where they come from and stuff. So that's pretty cool. And Dreaming City, that'll be actually the host of the location where the end game content takes place, like the new raid.
Right. Yeah.
But there's going to be some other stuff for you to explore and stuff. It's a full-on location. The big new game mode is Gambit, which is kind of a PvP PvE mashup where you fight enemies like parallel to another fire team, but you can slow them down, and you do get a chance to actually take them out yourself at certain points. So what do you make of that?
It seems like a decent enough hybrid. It kind of reminds me of that game. Is it like Bubble Bobble, where you can where you're both just trying to do your little puzzle, but sometimes if you get a combo, you can send stuff over to mess them up.
Yeah,
it's like that, isn't it? So what your team is doing a PvP thing, but when you hit a certain goal, it warps in a strong enemy to the enemy sort of arena, but eventually
like a sub-boss level
that's
enemy.
Right. I think it's in teams of 4, it might be 6, but at one point one of the players of your team get the chance to invade the arena of the others if you hit the certain quota, which is kind of interesting, I guess. Like PvP, but certainly still it's player versus player mission kind of thing, or whatever mode, but it's not much player versus player combat. There'll be one person invading the world towards the end of the matches. It seems quite interesting.
I think the game is just, when you boil it all down, it's just about shooting stuff in the head. So anything that they can do to add variety to that, and there's plenty of PvE stuff and there's plenty of PvP options. So the fact that they're trying to actually genuinely create something that isn't just a wave-based horde mode or something like that, or something that's a bit more interesting.
I'd give them credit for that, because it's not like some of the other and far less original ideas, like chuck a bow and arrow into the game for some fucking reason. This isn't like an original concept that I can probably see other developers adapted in the light if it goes well. Like horde mode was, I don't know what that was first in, but I remember it from Gears of War, and now there's quite a lot
Gears
of
War
horde
2
modes.
had a great horde mode.
That's the horde mode for me, right?
If it wasn't the first one, it certainly popularised it in my mind.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was a big success, and that's since been taken on by a lot of other people. There's that other game mode. What's it called? Something Royale Battle. That one's
Yeah,
quite
it definitely
popular.
rings a bell. Kind of like you just.
It's
you
the
just,
people and they jump out of the plane and then
Yeah.
they have to fight. That's quite popular as well.
Vaguely.
So this Gambit mode, it might not even be original. Someone might come into the comment section and know some obscure mod
say,
for a
this
real
is
tournament.
just like a Dota 2 mode or something like that.
Yeah, but at least they've gone for something pretty original, which I think to their credit, that is cool. And if it goes well, we might see people ripping it off for years to come. So that's cool.
So we'll see what that's like. But you just happened to mention it there. But they have actually just chucked the bow and arrow in the game.
About lasers.
As a new weapon type. So if the space rocket launchers, shotguns, sniper rifles, assault rifles, if that wasn't doing it for you, you can always resort to a bow and arrow. So that's in
interested to see how many tanks you can take down with that sort of thing.
Yeah, you could take down robotic dinosaurs in Horizon Zero Dawn, and it was pretty efficient in that. So we'll see how that pans out. I mean, I think there are actually 9 new super abilities, including something called Solar Knives and the Hammer Tornado, which looks very inspired by what was added in Rise of Iron, the big expansion for the original Destiny. And the update that arrives alongside this, so this is the stuff that will be made available to everyone, regardless of whether or not you buy
chestnut
it.
Again,
I'm not going to go into all of it, but the main headline is obviously the weapon overhauls. So it's going to change how the weapons slots work.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So this is the really big one, because people were just, people have so many complaints about the way that they'd done the weapon slots in this one. So for anyone unfamiliar, you've got you've got a standard weapon, an energy weapon, like a power weapon. So they're all categorized. What it meant was you only had very limited ammunition for a sniper rifle and a shotgun, for example. And you couldn't you couldn't rely on that as your standard weapon.
In the previous game you could. So in this game they've completely overhauled it, so it's completely versatile and you can play with
anything in any slot essentially.
Yeah. So the example that they gave was 3 shotguns. You can just have a shotgun in every slot. I don't know how practical that'll be, but hey, there's never enough shotguns.
Well, I don't know. If you are like a tanky kind of character and you end up in their faces a lot, which I do, maybe it's faster to swap out shotguns rather than reload. So maybe you could just be like pumping them with full of shotgun shells, change to another shotgun, keep it going.
You could do that, and I think there's a hunter ability where you can dodge out the way and that reloads all your ammo as well. So you could just
So it could I don't know. It might be a build. Triple shotgun.
This is triple shotgun.
They're also bringing back random stat rolls for weapon loot drops, so essentially in Destiny 2 as it is, it's all on like a level table, so everything will be within like 10 points or something like that. So it's like, if you're about level 300, all the weapons will be about there, a bit higher, but so this is bringing like randomization to that. Which it's just not been in Destiny 2, and that's what it was like in Destiny 1. So that'll extend the grind. It will ratchet up the grind for the players that want that and want a longer kind of end game. Let's get to the serious bit now. This is the bit that I wanted to talk about. First of all, you need Destiny 2, of course. It's an expansion to Destiny 2, but you also need Curse of Osiris and Warmind, which are the 2 bits of DLC we've already had. This is exactly what they did with Destiny 1. They have said there will be additional product options for players who don't own any of it. So there will be like bundles where you can get the whole lot, including Forsaken stuff.
The ultimate, the catch-up scrub pack.
Catch-up scrub pack, yes, probably you could name that. Maybe you should use that. So that'll be unveiled closer to the release date of September the 4th. So that's where that's the baseline here. That's what where we're coming from. You've already imagine you've bought Destiny 2, you've bought Curse of Osiris and Warmind. So the expansion Forsaken costs $40 or £35 here in the UK. If you pre-order, you get something called Cade's Exotic Stash.
Did you say
£35?
$35. Okay.
So that's $40, right?
Yeah.
So that's the expansion price. All right. The expansion also then has a season pass for Year 2's content. So for another batch of DLCs, that's another $40.
It is.
So that's $70 for this expansion and a season pass for said expansion.
Okay.
And what you get in that annual pass, as they call it, the season pass, you get access to bonus rewards, as well as 3 pieces of premium content, which one's called Black Armory, which is due out in winter of this year, another called Joker's Wild, which is due out in spring of next year, and Penumbra, which is due in summer of next year. So they apparently won't be as story heavy.
Yeah, so it kind of works out that if you buy Forsaken and the season pass, you're paying about $80 for a game that's going to be just playable over 18 months slot kind of thing, or sort of 12 months slot. Sorry.
Yeah.
So it's almost like buying a game in early access. And do you know what I mean? If I said my Destiny 3's just come out, it's still full price, but they're going to add Chapter 2 of it in winter, Chapter 3 of it in spring, Chapter 4. You'd say, Jake, that's early access, probably, right?
Yeah, it's just this is what is done now. This is, Ubisoft have done this kind of thing, having a year 2 season pass. You've had that kind of thing in Rainbow Six.
It's true, yeah.
Siege and whatever. It's confusing. I don't know if I'm just old. But I just kind of, look at it and I'm scratching my head. And I am one of the few people on the internet willing to say that I like Destiny.
Yeah.
And I want it to be good. I want to buy into this stuff, but they make it so hard. This is quite a good breakdown of what you get. But the problem is there's so much and different tiers and stuff.
Yeah. The simple way of it is think of it like an MMO, right?
Yeah.
Where if you get World of Warcraft base game, you need that, and then you need the next one. If you don't have Burning Crusade, you can't play Wrath of the Lich King. So you just need to pay each time, and people don't have a problem with that. But let's assume you're a good Bungie boy, and you buy Destiny 2 when it comes out, 40 quid. You buy Curse of Osiris when it comes out, 20 quid. You buy Warman when it comes out, 20 quid. You've spent 80 quid. Now this game comes out, and that's another 40 quid. That's 120 quid. You buy the season pass, and that's 30 quid, 170 quid.
You should be an auctioneer.
And right here, 125.
Yeah, I can do it kind of.
That was good.
Yeah, thank you very much. But yeah, I am available, by the way, for any cattle markets around the North Wales area. So think of it like a very, very expensive MMO with not as many features for social interaction, but what's ultimately a nice shooting gallery, and it's easier to swallow, I suppose, if you want to do it. I'd rather just spend my money, because this is what it comes down to, money. I'd rather just spend my money on another game.
B game, it's a great second game for me. I'll play some kind of first single player game or whatever that I'm more invested in, and then this is something I'll just dip into
it's
here and
there.
there.
Offhand weapon.
It's an offhand weapon. Yeah, it's a small dagger.
Yeah.
But the quality of the content, I think, is a real problem. So with like The Witcher 3, this is always like held up as one of the great examples of DLC. Blood and Wine.
Yes.
That if all the pieces of content were half as good, half as content rich as Blood and Wine, it would be something. But they're not. They're really content light, and they're like minor changes to what you actually do. They're changes to the environment, literal color and skin changes to the enemies, and a bit of expensive CGI cutscene. That's what you're getting, really.
Yeah, this one, I have a feeling it'll be about a 4 to 5 hour campaign.
It looks quite substantial.
You could say is sizable, but it's $40.
It's $40
for a 4-hour extension to Destiny.
Yeah.
And and that's another thing that I always found a bit of a problem with, was the fact that a lot of the free updates, which is even more confusing, because whenever they did a DLC, they also gave away a free update.
Free thing,
They seem more interesting because they were just mechanical changes.
Exactly, and you feel like you can maybe get away without having the thing.
Yeah,
so there you go. There's also an $80 version, which I haven't mentioned yet, which includes all of you get the expansion, you get Forsaken, you get the season pass, the annual pass.
The black doppel thoroughbreds.
No, that's a Red Dead Redemption 2 pre-order reference. No, you get something called the Awoken Legend set, which is essentially that. It's the Space Horse. You just get a legendary bow ornament, Dirge Paladin emblem, Vestian Ghost Shell, all this minor stuff. That's another $10 on top of the other edition you can get. So that's it. That's Destiny 2 Forsaken and Year 2. There's big changes. It feels like the thing is, you feel like you say that a lot about Destiny to begin with. You say there's constantly big changes on the horizon, but it does look like
feedback and
they listen to the player feedback. But it does feel like there's big changes. But you've got to be willing to put up a lot of money to experience it.
This is the biggest change that they've done, no doubt at all, but it comes at the biggest price by a long shot. So I'm sure. I'm really interested to see what people have got to say about this. I have seen positivity. I've seen Destiny fans saying, "Yeah, this is great. This is exactly what I want." But are you still Are you keen to get back into Destiny? But this is too high of a barrier. Maybe you haven't even touched the game. Would you be interested in picking up that special Destiny 2 plus Forsaken? All that is that the kind of thing that would tempt you? Because I want to hear from those people. Because I hear a lot from the angry Destiny 2 fans. Yeah.
But what about the people who are still kind of possibly thinking about it, and why do they think that the price is worth it? I want to.
How much in-game swag can you get with 80 quid in Warframe? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, lol, just play Warframe. So Destiny 2 Forsaken is out on PC, PS4, and Xbox One on September the 4th, marking the start of year 2 for the game. There's also an annual pass for 3 more pieces of DLC in the following 12 months. Bungie is actually going to be showing off this stuff in a bit more detail at E3 next week. So if you are interested, and $40 seems like a fair price to you for this, and $80 for the annual pass and all that stuff, then keep an eye out for that. Solstice of Heroes is a event that's coming up this summer as well, by the way, 17th of July, which should make a significant change to Crucible for people. It's adding 6 versus 6 multiplayer as a permanent fixture, which is a big, because it has up to this point had 4v4, which is smaller than the original Destiny. I wanted since day one, and I know I'm not alone. So there you go. That's happening. Let us know what you think about all this down in the comments. Please remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. There should be another video on screens right now if you want to watch that, and a link to Patreon if you want to support the channel. Thanks for watching. We will see you next time.